I was at a voting booth some years ago, and there was a guy in there, a panhandler, and he was going up to this guy, and he goes, "Hey man, I need some money, cash." And he goes, "No English, dinero, euro, money, change." He goes, "No English, money, dude. I gotta have something. No English." And he goes, "Come on, you gotta give me something." Ich hab Ihnen vote the dude's like, "Okay, I'm sorry, I'll go. God, sorry." And I walked over to him and I said, "I heard you speaking English earlier. What did you say to him?" And he just very calmly looked at me and he said, "German is a very angry language." I told him I had a bird in my suitcase. I was like, "Dude, how do I say that right now? I want to know how to say that." And he said, "Ich habe Ihnen Vogel in meinen." It sounds so angry, doesn't it? Some Mangler, ich habe Ihnen Vogel in meinen Kopf. Why? I don't serve racists here. And I said, okay, you know what? I was gonna leave this be, but if you're gonna cause commotion, I'm gonna too. And I turned around. I said,
wait, you didn't even have like anything like not like a Trump shirt on or anything?
Nope, nothing like that. It was just my card. My card had the stars and bars on it. So I turned around and I said, "Hey, I'm being denied service over here. Can I get a?" Now all of a sudden her face lights up.
Why you cut out?
She fucked up. I cut out. I said that. I turned around. And I said, "Hey, I'm being denied service here. Can I get a manager?" And manager comes over, and it's a big fat lady, and she goes, "Is there something wrong?" And before I can say a word, the little bitch goes, "He's spreading hatred and racism. I don't think it's right for him to actually do that," or something stupid like that. And she looked at me and she goes, "What are what's she talking about?" And I looked at her and I said, "Yeah, I guess this is it." And I handed her my card. I said, "This is my Walmart card. My Walmart card that I had to pay for through your service, which I then selected a picture that had to go in for review, which you approved, and then stamped it for me, and then renewed it." And she looks at the other lady and she goes, "Are you kidding me?" At this point, I got like a little sly grin on my face, and she goes, "Really?" She goes, "What? You're gonna serve him?" She goes, "No, you are. Get back to work. If I get one more complaint about you, you're fired." Now I thought I was gonna let it go. But she just had to make one more comment to me. So she says, "I don't approve of this at all." And I said, "Yeah, well, my heritage doesn't need..."
Oh.
I cut off. I said, "My heritage doesn't need your approval." And she just got so pissed looking at me, like face red, just almost shaking with anger that I said that to her. And she said, "I don't ever want to see you here again. I will go out of my way to make sure you have a bad experience if you come back here." And I said, "Well, I guess there's two kinds of people in this, my dear. My kind of people and assholes. Have a nice day." I remember. I'll tell you one more story, then I got to skedaddle. This was back in prison, back when I was doing my term, and this assault in the second degree. A stalker. I had to do 6 years, but I got out in 18 months. I got a retrial, and I got it stricken off my record. So by society standards, I'm not even an ex-convict.
Hell yeah.
So what happened in the chow hall was, okay, it was Thanksgiving Day, 2009, and this big fat dude, I forgot what he was pissed off about, but one of the guards pissed him off, one of the COs, and he grabbed all the mashed potatoes that were actually in the container because they were pushing them around, and he flipped it. He absolutely flipped it, and it knocked all the peas over with it. And as I was sitting there in the line, I had my tray ready, and I was looking at that, and everybody just went dead silent. Just dead silent, and I had to break the silence. The fat dude, he was pissed off at one of the guards. It was an inmate. Big fat black dude. Smelled like shit. Never showered. And well, he didn't. And he had man titties too. He had like C cup man titties. And who cares? So anyway, he flips the mashed potatoes and it knocks the peas off. And you can hear a pin drop. Everybody was so pissed that their Thanksgiving dinner just got fucked. But I just could not help myself. It flipped, and then you heard this, just boom. And I said, "Oh, you ass! I was gonna eat some of that too." Everybody started cracking up at that. Because I was the only one in the entire chow hall that you could hear. So, what was your story, Danny? I'm sorry, go ahead.
For fucking disorderly conduct, because this teacher, right, she came up behind me and I was on the phone with my mom because she was wondering, and she's like, no phones in class, and she started to put her hand on me, and I don't like when people fucking touch me, so I like pushed her hand away and I accidentally scratched her, and that was her reasoning, and she actually pressed charges and got me arrested for scratching her.
That's a liberal right there.
Yep. She was a fucking feminazi, too.
The triggering.
Yeah, I know. And she says that I punched her in the gut, and I didn't even fucking touch her other than, like, push her hand away, because you shouldn't even be fucking touching students in the first place.
I mean, couldn't you counterclaim with, well, she was touching me? You could have just said, oh, well, she's trying to touch my
She was
bits.
touching.
I should have, like, pressed charges for fucking, like, sexual assault or something.
Yeah,
Speaking of sexual.
Yeah, she actually quit her job and went to another school.
That's funny. So this happened last year. Me and a friend of mine met a guy at a gas station at like 11 o'clock at night. I forgot where we were there. I think we were going. Anyway, I made him laugh. I forgot what I said, but I made some kind of snarky comment. And he was like, I like you guys. You want to come to a party? We were like, why not? So basically, he gave us this address, and he gave us this pass thing that he wrote down. Like let him in or whatever. Yeah, he like signed his name on it. Said, they're cool. He said, all right, it's gonna be like next week. So show up. It'll be awesome. And but we were so enthralled that we got invited to a party that we forgot to ask him what kind of party. So we can't find this place on the map. Yes, we were using a map. So we couldn't find it on the maps. We typed it into Google Maps, and it took us to like a cabin in the woods, way the fuck out there on the top of Music Mountain, like way secluded. And we go up there, and we can hear this music just pumping. Okay, like that rock music,
Well, wait, quick question. You said you're like from the South, right?
Yeah.
Is recreational marijuana legal where you live or no?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
It's legal in Colorado, but that's as far south as it goes.
Do you want it to be illegal?
I want it to be legal as fuck. I would smoke the shit out of it. But anyway, we open the door.
It's not illegal if you don't get caught.
That's the truth. So we open the door, and this music starts blaring, and we see a bunch of furries. They're all these furries. I literally watched one of my first things I saw. I saw a.
You cut out.
Fox. I saw a furry. The first thing I saw was the furry fox jacking off on a beanbag chair, smoking a joint. And I looked at my buddy and I was like, "Do we really want to walk in here?" And about that time, the guy comes and he pulls off his fucking giraffe hat and he's like, "Hey, you made it!" And we're like, "Yeah." Fuck. Now we're obligated. But then he said something that made it tolerable. He goes, "Check out the back. We got beer." I was like, "You do?" So I walk back there, and as I'm walking back there, I see. No, I did not get no furry suit, but I did see the next thing that I saw. It made me want to turn around and leave. I saw what was it? I saw a zebra run past me. Okay, so the zebra runs past me. And I thought, okay, what the fuck? And then I see a deer run past me, holding a car battery in one hand.
What the fuck?
And his cock in the other.
Oh.
And I'm thinking, what is going on here? What is about to happen? So I'm getting crocked on this beer, and then the guy comes out and he goes, "Okay, who wants some brownies?" Now, at this point, drunk me was thinking, "Yeah, brownies." Sober me was saying, "I'm not here right now."
Pop brownies.
So, oh no, what pop brownies? I'll tell you what it was in a second.
Nice.
So I go over there, and I was like, "Yeah, brownies." So I scarf like 3 or 4 of them, just like drunkenly enjoying them. It's like, so good, so good brownies. And he comes over to me, he puts his arm on my shoulder, and he goes, "My friend, you're about to see some serious shit." I said, "What? What do you mean?" And he goes, "Oh, that's got like LSD and pot in it." What? So at this point, I drop one of them and I start walking around freaking out, And all these furries are humping, and there was a guy in a chicken outfit. That was interesting. I watched him fuck. What was it? Oh, a bear. Yeah, he fucked a bear. That was cool. At this point, I just accepted that I was in a fur fag thing, and I was just watching people fuck. I was so bored. And then the LSD kicked in, and oh, did it kick in! All the colors started like leaving their objects.
Wait. One question. I hope you went outside.
I did go outside, but as I'm stumbling around this fur convention where it's having sex, I can smell sweat, anger, and regret, and all the colors of everything are leaving. Like they're blending with everything. It's so weird.
Is this a good trip or a bad trip?
It was a trip in a furry convention where everybody was fucking, so you be the judge. So I walk outside and I see 2 things. This tree now you gotta remember, I'm high as fuck. And it's just the wind. But what I'm seeing is this tree is waving at me. I'm like, what the fuck? This is awesome. The air is so crispy tonight. And that's actually what I said. And I walked outside and it was waving at me. And this is where everything got weird, because the tree got up and started walking towards me. And at this point, I wasn't sure whether to run or go up and give him a hug.
Somebody please record this.
But he stopped halfway, and he walked into a cave. He walked he met me halfway, and then he walked into a cave, and the cave melted all over him. And I got really scared, and I fell over, and then I woke up, and my friend was like, "Dude, you were passed out for like 4.5 hours. What happened?" And I was like, "About it."
How fucking recent was this?
This was last year.
Wow.
I'll tell you, last story since we're recording it, and I think this might be funny. This was 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I was still doing drugs pretty heavily, and this is where meth. I was doing meth. Don't ever do meth. Because I just gotten back from the military, and I was fucked up, and I didn't know how to deal with it. I was not dealing with it in a healthy way. I was drinking, and I was doing meth. Army. Anyway, so I would been awake for about 5 or 6 days, and I'm going to tell you about how I got into a fight with I fought a tree.
You cut out.
I fought with a tree. I'm going to tell you that story. So, me and a buddy of mine named Cleston, we were driving up my Music Mountain, not too far where the Furry Fuck Fest was, and he is tripping balls worse than I am, because we get about halfway up and it's at midnight, by the way. It's like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. Not a good time to be driving and high on meth. And he goes, "Dude, did you see that?" And I said, What? I'm strung out. And he goes, "Stop the car." So I slam on the brakes. And he goes, What? I said, What was it? And he goes, "You didn't see that shit? A fucking green chicken with drop pipes and mag wheels just passed us." I said, "Dude, you're fucking tripping." And then he went to the back seat and just started like cowering there. And so I kept driving. And there was a tree that had fallen over. Now, at the time, I couldn't see the people that were pulling it with a chain, because apparently there was a night crew up there that was fixing the road. But I was strung out and high. And to me, this tree was asking for a fight. So I stopped the car. I said, "What the fuck is this? This goddamn tree's blocking my fucking way." And Cleston looks up and goes, "Dude, you gonna take that from that fucking tree? Kick his ass." I was like, "Dude, you're fucking right. I'm gonna kick that tree's ass." So I kicked the door open and I start walking towards him. I said, "Hey, motherfucker!" And that tree. And I start walking towards him menacingly. I got my fist balled. I'm ready to beat the shit out of that motherfucker. And then I start charging him. and that tree got up and ran away. It started darting across the side of the road. Now, again, I couldn't see the crew that was pulling it with a chain. But the tree got up and ran away. And to me, I'm just seeing this tree move across the road. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought, bitch! Fucking block my way, you big fucking dicking cunt! Come over there and whoop your fucking ass, I see you again! And I got back in the car and I was like, Cluston, did you see that? I scared that tree off.